Hey guys, what's up? Muscleman1953 here. Tonight I'm doing something a little different in the way of making my first gear review, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Wow, look at that, huh? Pretty badass, right? Now this is technically not my first firearm. My first firearm was a Glock Model 22 chamber in 40 Smith & Wesson. And I traded it out for a couple of reasons I'll describe later in the video. But first off, as you can see here, there's nothing in the chamber. Nothing in the magazine feed ram, nothing in the magazine, so this gun has been safety checked and cleared. There you go. Hammer's not cocked back. Now, first off, like I said, this is not my first gun, and I traded it for a couple of reasons that I will describe now. First of all, I live with my little sister. I want something that was easy to teach her with. And Glock 22s, although they are definitely manageable by anyone, my sister doesn't really have that much experience with firearms in general. And so I thought I would train her with something like a 9mm, which is something that I would definitely recommend for anyone first getting into firearms. Now, secondly, I went with a 9 because the ammo is just, let's be honest, a shit ton cheaper, pardon my French. And so I went with something that was affordable, easy to use, reliable. And this is actually the current military sidearm of the United States military. Except for the Special Forces, the Navy SEALs have been using the SIG P226 9mm. But from what I hear, they may be switching to Glock 19, which is also a 9mm. But, that's just for them. Anyways, another thing that I wanted to trade it for was someone with a manual safety. For those of you that do not know and keep saying that the Glock, it's not safe, it's not a safe gun, it doesn't have manual safety. Well, granted it does not have a manual safety. The Glock has three internal safeties. First off, the trigger safety, which is a little notch at the end of the trigger here that actually will keep the gun from firing. If that notch is not pulled, there's actually some blocking the trigger from being pulled all the way so that it does not have a discharge. There's also a safety plunger, which keeps in the way of the striker because it is a striker fired on firearm that will keep the firing pin from igniting the cartridge and around igniting the primer, sending the round somewhere where you don't want it to go off. And finally, there's a drop safety so that if something does happen, you accidentally drop your firearm, it's not going to fire. Now that being said, even though those are very impressive 3 safety features in the Glock, just remember that all safety features, although reliable, and we would like to be able to believe that all our machines never fail on us 100%, you should never rely completely on manual safety. You should always use your head and this thing right here, trigger finger. Now, I know that granted I have my finger around the trigger in this video so far, but that was just to demonstrate a point, and as I showed earlier in this video, there is nothing in this firearm, so this firearm is safe. Now, another thing about this firearm that I really like is the weight. This makes it a very manageable firearm to shoot at the range, because with the Glock, as much as I love to shoot and it's very accurate, as you can see there, I have a very accurate target shooting there with some very impressive groupings for my first time to the range. I really felt that I needed something to control the recoil and the muzzle flip whenever I fired off a couple of rounds in the Glock. So this one, unlike the Glock, which is a polymer and plastic frame gun, this Beretta is typically full metal. The frame is aluminum, and I believe that the slide is carbon steel. Feel free to correct me in the comments if you would like. But this gun is very, very manageable. Hopefully in the next few weeks I'll be able to attach a range report video to show you what I truly think of this firearm. Now, that being said, a few things I do not like about this pistol. Sorry about that, guys, but real quick, a couple of things I don't really like about the firearm is first off the sights. My Glock Model 22, which was in a Gen 3 Glock, had tritium night sights. As you can see here, this just has basic, just white dot sights, so I'm going to change those out at some point. Also, I don't know, like, my Glock 22 Gen 3 had rail on for a tactical light. I've been working on being able to train myself to be able to hold a flashlight at the same time in my left hand because I'm a primary right hand. So hopefully that won't be too easy to change out. Now, a couple of rules. First off, if this is your first gun video that you've been watching, you've been wondering what firearm to get. First of all, I really enjoy this firearm. I really like it. I think it's got a great weight to it and everything. But before deciding what firearm to use, one of the main mistakes that I made being humble here is the fact that someone can tell you which firearm is best for you, and this is a load of crap. The only firearm that's best for you is what's comfortable for you to shoot. Something that feels good in your hand, something that you feel like you have enough experience with, and something that you're just going to enjoy shooting. One of the first guns I ever shot was a 50 caliber Desert Eagle. And although I see that as a very fun and popular gun to shoot, it's more of a novelty gun than anything in my personal opinion, just because I don't really see it as a practical firearm for self-defense. Granted, it does definitely have that capability, but you just want to get something that's very comfortable for yourself. You also want to think about what you're going to be using it for. Home defense, personal defense, hunting, training, maybe just something to take to the range. If that's what you're looking for, then I would definitely recommend the Beretta 92FS in 9mm. Now, a couple of things, if this is your first gun, as I said, things to remember. First off, rule number one, always treat the firearm as if it were loaded. There is a video on YouTube from Top Guns where they actually showed a jar of rounds that were pulled out of firearms that people brought to them saying they were clear. And as soon as they clear them, the round drops out of the chamber. And so that's just something that you want to keep in mind. Although you can train yourself so many times to remember when the gun is truly safety checked, you never want to have your finger on the trigger until you're ready to fire. You never want to have the shooter stance. Secondly, never point the gun at anything that you are not willing to destroy. Even though you clearly check it yourself to see if like there's nothing in the chamber and you think that you're shooting at something that's safe, just be sure, absolutely 100%, have no doubt in your mind. For example, you see a lot of people shooting in the water. Although it is very unlikely, it is still a very high possibility that the bullet could ricochet and hit someone that you don't want to, say another human being. It could ricochet into yourself. I hope that never happens to anyone. Just remember that. Thirdly, know your target and what's beyond it. Bullets, especially 9mm, coming at higher velocity, has a much higher probability of going through targets and into something else. So if you shoot something, say a deer, and it goes through something into something else, say another organic organism that you didn't want to go through, that's going to be on you. And not only are you going to have some huge legal matter, but you're going to have to live with that and live with the mistake that you made. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but it is a very serious matter. I just want to make that impression on anyone. Now, fourthly, always treat the firearm as if it were loaded. As I said, you keep the finger off the trigger until your sights are on target. You treat it as if it were loaded. But if you have this finger and you're just messing around, not doing any educational training purposes for it, then you're really just showing what kind of an ignorant asshole you can be, not exercising every single safety rule written and unwritten that there is about firearms. Now this I actually purchased from a friend of mine that is in the United States military. He's a lieutenant. So this magazine actually holds 17 plus 1 rounds. So this is an 18 plus 1 18 round magazine. And I got this magazine from my local sporting goods store. It is a Pro Mag. And I hear a lot of mixed reviews about these. I am a little iffy about using aftermarket magazines just because I hear a lot of negative, positive things about aftermarket mags, especially with the Glocks. Anything over 33 rounds, I've seen a lot of jams on those magazines. So I'll let you guys know what happens with this magazine. This is a stock 15 plus 1 magazine capacity. And so, like I said, I'll let you guys know what happens with that. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my first gear review. As I said, this is a Beretta 92FS. Retail is about $550 to $650 at your local gun store. And it's definitely a very high quality firearm. If the military did not trust their soldiers with it, then I definitely do not think that Beretta in Italy will allow it to be sold over here or anywhere else. So it's just definitely a very high quality firearm. It's been used since the mid 80s up until now. And so I hope you guys really enjoy this video. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. And I hope you guys have a good Easter Sunday. Happy holidays. Bye.